all doing well this lovely Sunday. It's been fairly sunny here today, so it's always nice in Scotland. We are here for session 9 of our Dragon Age story, the penultimate episode, which will hopefully be a nice, exciting one. Before we do our character intros, I'm just going to read out the content warning as I do all the other sessions. The world in which this game is set is one known to many. It is a world where there are a great many injustices and wrongs which need fought against. As such, there are topics that will come up which include oppression, fantasy racism, prejudices against mages, and imbalances of power, which often become violent. We recognize that in telling the story of oppression and genocide against groups of people reflects the many tragic atrocities occurring in our world as we speak. We do feel that this story of the fight against oppressive rule, they're important to tell, but the health and happiness of our viewers are also crucial. As such, it is important that you all know the content of the story that we will be telling here, so that you have the agency to choose either to watch along with us as we tell of the fight against such powers, but equally you can turn off the story should you need to in order to preserve your own comfort. The group and I have discussed at great length our lines and veils when approaching this content, and active use of safety tools will be being used. We would urge you to also take care of your own comfort levels. That being said, let us now tell a story of hope in dire times, with a fight for justice, and get our own back against those fucking Templars. Pardon my French. We're now going to introduce ourselves, and they're going to introduce who they're going to be playing. I will start off with myself. I am Emma, or Hamalu on the internet, and I use she, they pronouns, and I am the storyteller for this lovely, lovely game. Now I'm going to let my players introduce themselves and who they will be playing.
Hello, everyone. I am Torn. Oh my god, I don't know my own name. I'm Torn, or Torn Talks Creativity on the internet. My pronouns are she, they. Jesus. I am playing Genevieve Devereaux. Her pronouns are she, her, and you know we're making it. She's gonna be fine. This is fine. We've got goats, maybe. We've got people. It's cool. We got this. Fuck up, Templars.
Sup, everybody? I am Valdranth. I use any and all pronouns. I bring Theowin today, who uses she, her pronouns. And I wasn't here last week because I enjoy sleep. But yeah, I'm ready to ATAB. Let's go.
Hi guys, my name is Alice. I use they, them pronouns. Today I'll be playing Florineus, our little necromancer who is going through it right now.
Hi everybody, I am Mary. My pronouns are she, her. Today I am playing Eviana, whose pronouns are she, her as well. She is our little itty bitty blood mage that is ready to pop off if need be. Hopefully we won't have to, but probably we will, and that's okay.
I really hope we do. Hi, I'm Ella. My pronouns are she, her. I am currently in a different place to where I normally am for the stream. I'm playing Maddie Hines. She's a spirit healer. Her pronouns are also she, her. She's, I'm a doctor, but so real excited for where the ellipsis takes us.
Hurties and the Heelys. Very good. So we are buckling in for our penultimate episode. Blessed are the righteous, the light in the shadow. In their blood, the Maker's will is written. Dun dun dun. Last session was an emotional one. Genevieve discovered that the rebel mages in Ferelden have mostly headed towards Redcliffe Village, a place of sanctuary given to them by order of Best Boy, King Alistair. A potential lead on where her brother might be. Matty has set up a fashion show of a sort where she dressed up 2 of their companions in rather skimpy goat herder outfits and set them in a room to await further instruction. Aviana led Flor back to the room where they were staying to help with the shock of discovering someone from their past they had thought likely dead. Flor then opens up about their past and the tragic circumstances surrounding their upbringing, them leaving home, and then losing their companion and slave, Quintus, who was dragged off to a circle when Flor got away free by the virtue of their birthright. As Jen comes back, she manages to get the attention of the 2 elves who were seemingly planning to act against the Templars also. With some assistance from Harry, it turns out these 2 rogues work quite well together. Managing to convince them to come and talk with the group, they do agree and follow on to the inn to meet all of the others. It is revealed that they plan on getting into that stronghold to assassinate one Templar in particular, but they're very much unbothered if the whole place goes up in flames, a sentiment everybody here can agree to. Their exact reason for wanting this has not yet been revealed, but it seems that everyone is of like mind. Mata even offered her healing hands to the feisty elf Ailish. Ooh la la. Jen and Aviana are put into the room with the 2 scantily clad men from aforementioned note, and an arcane lock is placed on the door to try and encourage the sharing of feelings after some avoidance techniques have been used. An understanding is met, where Jen will go off to speak with Griffin, and Aviana finally explains how she feels to Reagan. It goes well, and Reagan asks if he can kiss her, swooning all around. Taking advantage of how distracted everyone is, Harry offers Fleur to perhaps go and deal with their situation and take care of the Aeneas guard. The pair do so, and the guard is swiftly taken care of by the deadly assassination skills of Harry. Quintus becomes agitated and afraid, his emotions reaching a point of dangerous intensity, something all mages know can be deadly and lead to demonic possession. Quintus is whisked off to the inn, and the group all rally around the frightened mage. Will they succeed in avoiding the creation of an abomination? We are swooping in, not swooping is bad, but we are swooping into this scene. We have a very clearly emotional elven mage sat in the middle of this room, and people trying to do what they can to alleviate this situation. I would just like to hear from each of you what is going through your heads in this precise moment, and then we'll see who is acting quickly to deal with the situation. So we can go in the order of our intros. With this situation and the very heightened emotions and a lot of people being able to quite literally feel that emotional intensity in the room, what is going through your mind?
Genevieve knows that, like, a general amount of information about what can happen in these moments, but knows that she is not effective here, except for if it goes super bad. So she is, I would say, posted up, watching, doing what she does best, just perception checks, kind of all around, if you will, choosing the moment if she needs to do something. Again, only if it goes really, really bad, but knows the mages can do this way better than she can.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if Theowen knows what's going on just yet.
Theowen will know that a mage was just brought in, and you can feel the level of emotional intensity in this young man is scary. So even though you don't understand fully the reason why, or maybe not who this person is, but you know that this is scary. This is quite literally what you have nightmares about.
Yes.
Also, hi Raiders.
Hello Raiders. Cool. That being said, Theowen is giving this other mage and everybody else the whitest of berths. She wasn't in the room when they came in, but she kind of like peeks around the corner to see what's like going on, and then like very quickly just like leaves the room and like leans her back against the wall, just trying to keep her own self from like not freaking out, but it's impossible. So she's just going to internally freak out. And hopefully nobody will find her because she doesn't. No, this is a big do not want red flag. Just cannot be in the same room as this person.
Got you. Mm-hmm. Very good. Fleur. I mean, everyone is kind of on tenterhooks right now, but he is very personal to you. So what is going through your mind?
No, as soon as they left the conversation with Jin, Floor just kind of takes that half instinctual, like, guard dog position, just like they did with Aviana. Um, they're probably the only one touching Quint right now, like,
Mhm.
one hand on him. Otherwise, like, making sure no one else touches him without, like, some indication of consent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Aviana, what's going through your mind?
I think that Aviana is just kind of immediately going to be jumping into action, not so much as like taking against this mage, but knowing ever so slightly the background and knowing where this person is from. I think she's immediately going to try and go into trying to talk to them and just say, "Hey, you're safe. We are going to do everything to protect you." Try to calm the situation down, work through breathing techniques, anything I can do while still there's I feel like Eviana has seen the worst of something like this happening. And so I think while she's very much trying to calm this person down, she's also trying to make sure that should the worst happen, she's able to leap into action just in case.
Okay.
It's very much of I'm going to calm it down, but if I need to go full firepower, I will do so.
Yeah. And lastly, Matty, what's going through your mind?
I'm going to be real with you. I lived in a circle for 30 years, so seeing a mage maybe about to become an abomination as the healer in the circle that I lived in, not uncommon. So I think
Yep.
Matthew is pretty calm and has dealt with this situation before. So she is conscious of the fact that she is a human and this is not only an elf, but specifically an elf from Tevinter. She is going to take off her kind of leather jerkin, like jacket thing that was like lightly armored, so that she's just in her shirt sleeves, and it's very clear that like from her shirt sleeves and like her like trousers, like that she has no weapons on her body, like she is wearing loose clothes, is very obvious. She is going to do her kind of like magic aura thing, but we've established that's not mechanical, but I'm still going to put it in for flavor.
We do it anyway. Listen.
And she is going to call Hope like to be with her, but not to be present, because we don't know whether or not this would be something that would scare this mage. So I'm not going to bring Hope completely forward. And I'm going to go through like the routine that I go through with every mage that gets brought to the circle who looks like they're about to turn into an abomination, or every mage who's had a fight with a Templar and looks like they're about to become an abomination, or every mage that's had any other intense emotional thing happen to them done by someone else or themselves in the circle over the 30 years I lived there. So I'm gonna
You're
come
like ready to go, basically.
yeah, I've done this a lot. Like,
Yeah.
so I will just, recognizing Floor's stance from before and how they were with Aviana. And also just generally, I think Massey is someone who, from living in Darktown and stuff, is never going to approach someone quickly without their consent, especially an elf. So like very slowly, shirt sleeves, hands bare, just going to keep like a respectful distance of a couple of feet between me and this person, Quintus. But I don't think Massey knows his name. And say, okay, hi. I think everyone in here just needs to take a real deep breath. Craig, can you just go for a walk outside with Theowyn, please? That'd be great. Fab. And then I'm going to look at Aviana and we say, Aviana, could you make us some herbal tea? You know that lovely rosehip tea you make? That would be just gorgeous. Jen, if you don't mind, maybe just check in the corridor, making sure there's we're not going to have any unwelcome interruptions. And Floor, I would love to meet your friend, but I'm not sure whether or not they would like to meet me. Hi, my name is Matty Hines. You don't have to tell me anything about yourself that you don't want to tell me. I'm a healer. I use magic, but I can also not use magic if you'd prefer. We don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And then I'm just going to sit down cross-legged on the floor in front of them.
Yeah. So, by the sounds of things, we are all various levels of like cool and fine and know what we're doing with this, to oh shit, as an emotional spread. And some people are obviously getting ready in various ways, whether it is preparing for the worst or trying to ensure the best. One of the elves that is in the room with you guys, Ailish, when it felt like it was that initial sort of build up and sitting him down, and once it became quite apparent what was happening, she too is going to come up, but like at the back of him rather than in the front of him, and will have, like, prior to like people setting their verbal intentions already, just tell you guys that you need to ground this person, is what she says. And you can see that she is standing at the ready, but her body is tense and there are tears forming in her eyes when she says it. And so what we're going to do is mechanically do what this system allows for, which is it's like a group test, an advanced test is what it's called. And I have a set number that we are trying to reach, and everyone is going to get to do an action. You don't, if you feel that you're not going to be doing anything to contribute to this, that is also okay. But for those of you who do want to do something, it can be anything within your wheelhouse, even just the effort of like removing distractions from the room. You know, that is still an intention, is still an action. We're going to roll for them, and provided they are a success, which means that they are over 11, that number is going to get added together until we reach that threshold. Ideally, you want to be using different skills rather than everybody using the exact same one, but I don't mind double ups where it makes sense. So have a little think about the action and intention that your character is doing. We'll do our rolls, and then I'll let us like role play through the end of it once we know that we've succeeded. Just to add a little bit of tension to what we're currently doing. This sounds like a good number to reach. Okay. So we'll just set, what we'll do is, I like doing things in an order a bit more like masks, I guess, in that you're all going to state what your intentions are, and then we do them in the order of what makes sense. So just tell me what your intention is, what skill you feel you would be using, and then we will do it in order. So what is your intention? What action would you use? And if you feel you're not doing anything to contribute to the scene, that is also okay. You can just state that.
Jen is definitely doing what she does best, looking out for everybody and making sure we can deal with our internal problems while not having external added on. So she's been away so that the mages can do what they do best and make sure that they're safe in doing so. But she's been listening at the door to make sure, you know, our rogue friends have a device that knows where magic is. They're probably not the only ones. So I don't know exactly what would work best here. I was thinking searching, like listening, or empathy to do perception and kind of look around, but I will let you tell me what you think is better in that case.
Either works. They both have a slightly different angle on what it is that you are doing, but I will allow you to declare the action that you want to use.
I think I will use searching because I know my people well enough that if they start panicking, then I know to put more focus on what's happening inside the room. So my more focus is outside of us. Oh, I'm so nervous. Dice gods be lovely to me. So searching.
So we'll get you doing that. I mean, we'll wait and we'll do things in the order that they make sense.
We'll
so
do.
We know what your intention is.
So I'll be searching. Yes.
Yes. Theowen.
Theowen's intent is to go unnoticed. Because as far as she is concerned, she knows she's also vulnerable in this situation, or thinks she's vulnerable in this situation, because she's selfish and thinks she's special. So she is going to try and just keep herself composed enough to make it through this emotionally herself. to go spirit. And but when I say unnoticed, I mean unnoticed spiritually, not necessarily like by the people in the room, like from the ill intent of the room, if that makes sense.
So you're just trying to diminish where possible your emotional expression in this. Okay.
Yes.
Fabulous. So I imagine what skill are you, I mean, it sounds like a stealth, but what skill are you looking
Well,
to
I could
roll?
also roll for courage.
Courage sounds delightful, actually.
Yes.
We want to do that? Okay.
I do.
Fabulous. So we'll get you doing that. Okay. And Flora, what is your intentions right now?
I think Flora is trying to ground both themselves and Quintus. Again, they're not like leaving him. They're probably pretty close next to him, skin contact. Like, it's just okay. Okay. Just like when we were little. Breathe.
Okay. Breathe.
And I'm trying to like specifically use self-discipline on this.
Self-discipline makes sense. Yep. Beautiful. Okay. Aviana, is there anything you'd like to contribute?
Yeah, I think that Eviana, usually she has hot water ready for tea at all times. I think that she is going to get that poured, and even if it's not ready to drink, to hand that to Quintus, so something warm. And then I'm having a hard time remembering what are Quintus's pronouns?
He, him.
Okay, I hand him the teacup, and just so like the heat and stuff can get hopefully bring him like closer of like, hey, I feel this on my hands, helping grounding. And I think she's also going to try and grab some sort of heavier quilt or something to kind of use that as well. Maybe if he accepts it, to put a blanket on. It seems like he's going through shock right now. And she'll just kind of hand that over, kneel down. I don't know if etiquette would work well for this, but she's trying to make
Sure.
Quintus feel comfortable.
I understand.
Thanks.
That sounds good. Good use of that skill. Yeah, that's so lovely. And lastly, Matty, we've heard you verbally express your intentions. Is there a specific action you would like to?
Yeah, like I guess in terms of sort of yes, sorry, can you, when you said the advanced test thing and that our rolls are going to be added together,
Yeah,
which part of our rolls is getting added
the
together?
whole number. So like if you roll a 12, then it's 12 getting added in, and then
Right,
if you roll an 18, that gets added in, and then those numbers will stack up to a number.
Cool. Okay, well, in which case, like, I'll be doing the most instinctive thing first, which is just essentially like using hope, using my magic, using my healing magic and spirit healer magic to try and just generally soothe both like Quintus, but also just the room around me. It's not. I think like I was looking at spells and I don't think there's a specific spell that makes sense here, so I think it's more of just a spirit magic roll, to just kind of like ease the fade a bit and make it feel less like tumultuous for all of the mages like in this area.
Fabulous. Sounds good. All right. I think, you know what, even though it didn't have to go in that order, the order that we were saying things make perfect sense. So we can just kind of have it, if everyone just rolls them. So searching, courage, self-discipline, etiquette, spirit magic.
Just roll right now?
Yeah,
just
sure.
do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
Cool.
Whoa, Flora, listen. Oh, look at y'all. You want to save this poor baby. So 20, 25, 50.
That 22 be beautiful. Hello.
Right?
Listen,
sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You more than, because I was like 60 cents like a good number for this. Y'all more than enough. It didn't nearly crack me. I love that we came together and we delivered absolutely beautiful on our intentions. The sheer intensity in the room is something that will definitely be felt by any mages who would have been nearby, even just in the building, even downstairs. However, you're hoping that there are not any others other than the ones who are currently in this room. In theory, if there had been Templars nearby, they might have been able to sense something as well, given their powers, but you are pretty confident, Genevieve, that this space is not going to be interrupted. There's nobody in the corridor. Even just keeping your eyes and ears out for anything downstairs, it's pretty quiet. You can still hear the giggling going on of the the young girls here downstairs. So it sounds like their spirits, like nothing that is going on seems to have alerted them to this. So you're pretty confident that you are all good. Theowin, you're able to keep a control on your own feelings and that sort of intention to essentially set up walls around yourself so that your energy is not going anywhere else seems to work pretty effectively. And in that moment, you do feel that essence of courage coming into yourself as well, perhaps knowing that you had an encounter and you actually managed to deal with it and overcame it, and
Using
maybe that's
those
helping.
advanced breathing techniques.
Yeah, you know what? Kratos tried his best to teach you about breathing that square.
And Cloud is there, so I get to
Cloud
just
is there
touch.
for cuddles.
I have a service animal at this point.
You do. You sure do.
You have two.
Yeah.
Yep. Craig and Cloud.
Yeah. Aviana, your efforts are also seemingly putting in a decent amount of work to just through the talking and the soothing nature of what you are doing and seeing to the things that are around this person, but the sensory things that you are doing of putting the blanket around, increasing temperature, putting the heat in the hands is doing some legwork in terms of that grounding effort for sure. Layered in with Floor's words, as much as Quintus seemed to be very internal with that, the panic and the trauma, the things that you're doing, putting things into his hand and putting stuff around him and then trying to talk to him from Matty, they're having an effect, but the first movement and acknowledgement that he seems to do is in hearing Floor's words. And his head, while he doesn't necessarily look you in the eyes, his head will tilt like it is being receptive to what it is that you are saying and keeping that close body contact. And he seems to almost lean into you a little. It's not a huge amount, but it's enough to know that he is, in fact, being receptive to what you are saying right now. And then, Matty, you're obviously sitting down and about to strike up the conversation with him, sending out that healing energy. And while you didn't want to necessarily bring hope fully into the room, you can feel their energy at least enshrouding you and keeping you solid in that moment and allowing that sort of reverberating pulsating essence of healing into the room, not just for this person but all of your friends in this moment. He'll eventually look slightly away from Floor to you as you spoke those words. Doesn't respond, but at least there is an acknowledgement that you said something to him. And you can all, especially our mages, can feel the edges of that emotional turmoil starting to soften. You can feel that whirlwind and that intensity starting to come under some control in a way.
I'm just gonna look at Floor. I'm trying not to make too much eye contact with Quintus. Like letting him make his choices about where and when he puts his attention. But I'm gonna look at Floor after they've said that thing about like when we were kids, and I'm gonna say to Floor, "Hey, Floor, could you talk me through just everything you do to kind of stay calm? Can you just like take me through the steps? I don't think that we would have been brought up in the same schools. I would love to learn how you do it."
Not sure if that'll exactly help right now.
I think like what Maddie is trying to do is invite Floor to like go through any like calming techniques that you grew up with as kids, and like if you saying like remember when we were kids and we stayed calm helped, like what Maddie's trying to do is be like, you know, was it like a counting game, or was it like breathe in and then breathe out, or like that's what she's asking.
What we did in the circle was very different from what we did at home. And living on the coast, you get bad storms, and sometimes all you can do is breathe through them.
Just breathe?
Yeah.
Okay, then we breathe. How long for? How long in and out? Is it big breaths in and then short breaths out, or?
Long both ways.
Okay.
After all, you have to write it out.
Yeah. And from the sounds of your breathing, Matty, and hearing Floor talking through it, although not with the same level of volume and intent to be apparent, you will both become aware that his breathing pattern starts to mirror the pair of you.
Just keep going like that until he's calm.
Eventually, he's going to bring that hot tea up and take a sip.
Aviana will just and she's staying like lower than wherever Quintus is. Like she's keeping her body low, sitting on the ground, and she's just going to say, Quintus, are you hungry? We've got food over here. There's some nice honey rolls and a few lemon cakes. Something sweet always helps me.
Not yet.
Okay.
And he'll sit and just stare into the teacup and continue mirroring that breathing pattern. And you guys will hear from like behind this concentrated scene, Ailish starts to hum a tune, and it's a tune that seems to be following the pattern of the breath. Still looking a little tense herself, still with tears in her eyes, but she's trying to help in her own way. And eventually, Flora, you feel a shift in his body, and then one arm hooks into yours. And he just leans in a little closer. I'm so sorry.
I feel like I should be the one saying that so many times over.
It doesn't make us feel any less sorry, though, does it?
No.
I'd have never forgiven myself if I'd hurt you.
That wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, well, you have some strong friends here, it seems, so I guess that tracks.
Sure, strong, but good and kind and...
Yeah. Would you guys mind if I just lay down on one of those beds for a little bit? I'm feeling a bit lightheaded.
Of course.
And he'll look to one and then hesitate and doesn't seem to want to move unless you are moving as well, Flora. And there's an awful lot of strangers around him right now, so he's feeling a bit intimidated by it.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Genevieve's probably already snuck out of the door by this point. Just
I think that Maddie glances at Aviana because Aviana has been doing such a good job hosting. But Maddie has also again definitely seen kids come into the circle who don't want to be separated or feel scared without each other. So she just Maddie just moves over and kind of mum style just starts moving two of the beds together so they're next to each other so that these two can lie down next to each other, just shoves it. She's a weedy little mage, so maybe it's not that effective of a shove, but still
Aviana will help, and she kind of fluffs up some of the pillows, make sure that she'll probably take some of her personal floofy ones and put them on the bed and
yeah.
Basically she I don't even think that she's processed what she's done when she's just made her bed into Quintus's and just does that basically.
Yeah.
And then pauses, is okay, it's fine, floor's fine, and just continues, doesn't say it out loud at all, but there's a moment of pause of shit, okay, prep.
Mary, can I ask you a question? You said that Aviana has a condition where her bones break very easily. Would doing something heavy lifting like this, moving a bed frame, be a risk for her?
Yes, probably, but I think while it would be risky, I don't think she's given it a second thought.
I assumed... Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
I assumed she wouldn't have given it a second thought. I more meant if she has at all damaged any of her fingers, then Maddie, as they both step back from it, will shoot some healing her way, whether she likes it or not, in the way of our friendship.
Yeah. Pat on the back.
Just without saying anything,
Yeah.
just put a hand down and gently touch your fingers and heal them.
Yeah, she'll probably pop a shoulder back into place and will kind of give the side eye of don't heal me, just gestures. But she's very appreciative.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Quintus will move once Floor does, and you can go and you guys have done a great job of creating a little comfort nest. And we'll just lay down and just try to close his eyes and continue that breathing exercise. But it seems that the difficulty has passed. A few of you are obviously going to be slightly on the outside of this and feeling that tension. I think sensing the mood in the room and having a lot of things to deal with also. Ailish is going to go over and take Owen's hand and sort of lead him outside so that they can go and stand. There's where the corridor space is, and then a window with a little balcony, and is going to go and just stand outside with him. He just sat there and looked in shock almost the whole time. Just, when you sit there and you're stunned into inaction. So they will leave the room. Mm-hmm.
After Quintus is settled, I think Aviana then is going to go turn and try and find Theowen and make sure that she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Eowyn is just like on the other side of the wall, leaning against it.
Eviana has another cup of tea. And just need one.
Theowen just like holds up her hand and just like shakes her head like she doesn't need it and she's fine. But she doesn't say anything.
Eviana will give like a little squeeze on the shoulder, just a reassurance, and kind of sit there in silence if that's what Theowen needs. Or
Theowen actually doesn't want you there.
then she would give you your space.
Like
Absolutely.
she doesn't like verbally she doesn't say it because she's actually gone nonverbal in this moment. But she's just like she just like looks at you and is just she just looks at you, and you could just tell that she would rather like a wide berth herself.
Then I think that she'll just kind of leave the tea on the corner of a table, and give you space.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jen, she definitely escaped that room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely, because she would have passed by, but I think she'll approach our two elven new friends.
Mm-hmm.
Not, like, oh, hello, how you doing? Not like that.
Yeah.
Being much more empathetic of, sorry, obviously, that was a bit heightened, shall we say. If you need a distraction, you can join me downstairs and I will be drinking and we can talk about plans. If you tend to be the luck type of people.
Yeah. When you went out to join them, you could see that he was standing leaning on the balcony and she's like rubbing at his back a little bit. But she will pay attention to you when you come out. You don't need to apologize for that. Nobody does.
Unexpected, yes. But and okay, GM, real quick question. I didn't make a perception check on these two, but I feel like Jen would probably be able to guess pretty easy. Based on what they said before it happened, and then what they said to us. I'm assuming that they maybe had someone that did not have such a good outcome in that moment.
You could come to that conclusion, yes.
Okay, I think Jen does. And just kind of looks at both of them and I don't know how you deal best with things like that, but I only offer one escape if you need.
Thank you. I'm still figuring out how to deal with it, but mostly killing the person who is responsible for our own difficulties is how I'm choosing to handle it right now.
I cannot fault you for that. It helps me to focus on conviction things I feel strongly about. But that is definitely on my list as well. So take your time. The offer is there whenever you want.
I would talk about plans, but doing it downstairs with lots of ears around us doesn't feel sensible.
Well, there is one of our party that I did get a private room for. I can see if he would give it to us.
Okay.
One moment. Yep. She'll just... she didn't get too close out of respect, but we'll kind of back up. And when she turns around, it's just like just stress on her face. Shit. Now I have to face this a lot sooner than I thought.
Mhm.
And because she knows Seowyn and I'm assuming Craig might be close by, but
Mhm.
there are people in this corridor now. So she kind of just, straighten up her back, head toss, hair toss, put
Mhm.
the mask back on, and find the room she shoved Griffin into.
Yep.
Decompress. That's what she did to him. So,
You
and
you
as
can
she,
go into the room. Yeah.
yeah, well, as she walks by Theowen, I think she just kind of gives you a look, Theowen, until you meet her eyes. She's not going to say anything to you. And just try to convey understanding and if you need anything.
Mm-hmm.
Continues to need birth.
Yeah.
What?
But that's what I mean. Like, she's not going to be like,
Yep.
tell me what's wrong with you.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
get me if you need anything. Yeah, she's very much
just
probably used to this.
The acknowledgement brosis nod.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. She's not going to push it.
No.
And halfway, just like, shit. Hoping that could be a distraction. But anyway, we'll
Mhm.
go to the door and just very gently knock. And Griffin, are you still awake?
Yup. What do you need?
Well, one, to say something, and two, to bargain with you and get all new friends in here to talk about, party plans for later.
Okay. That sounds fine to me, he says as he opens the door.
Hello, Griffin.
Hi.
So first things first, are you all right?
I'm fine.
Do I believe him?
He seems fine as a good estimation. Absolutely, excellently wonderful, probably not, but he's doing okay. He's wearing his own
Okay.
clothes now.
Yes.
Aw.
Glad to see you look more comfortable, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first thing, I am sorry about earlier. I could not let Matty get the better of me, but I apologize that you were at the butt end of it. I think she smirks a little bit, like, but all right.
It's fine, honestly. It's better than having a string of insults thrown my way.
Who insulted you?
No, I'm just suggesting that
Oh, okay.
it was better than having had insults.
Right. Can we talk for a moment, or are you just going to keep me up here?
We can. No, sorry. Yes.
Okay.
He'll step
No
back.
problem. It's not a problem. And she'll just gently close the door of just, so I offered to talk to our new friends about what they intend to do at, the big scary stronghold. And you have the only other private room at the moment. So if it is all right, I was going to have them come here.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I think there's a very distinct, like, Jen's not making the eye contact she normally would.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Was that the thing you needed to say to me, or was that the apology?
Oh, no, the first part was the apology.
It was the apology.
I did say sorry.
Yeah,
that.
you did. Okay. Okay. Do you need me to be out of the room when you're talking to them, or?
That is up to you.
I'll just stick around in case it's helpful.
Okay. Griffin, she's trying to get kind of, because here's the thing. she wants to ask questions and do like a bunch her normal shtick, you know, like what the hell is wrong with you, and like do the body scan of like tell me everything that you're not telling me. But there's also a hesitancy. She doesn't want to push it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you all good?
Well, just had a very interesting experience. I'm pretty sure Harry just killed a man. I haven't asked. Don't want to ask, quite frankly.
He does that sometimes. Yeah.
He's quite good at it. And then we had another mage that's not one of ours about to like she just motions get really bad.
Oh.
It's
shit.
handled. Yeah, no,
Oh.
it was scary. Kind of was like, oh, do I have to shoot him? I really hope I don't have to. He seems very nice. And do you have everything you need for tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. Side eyes the bed that has the outfit on it.
Oh, yes. I'm going to help you fix that, okay? Don't worry. We're not going to send you off in that.
If it works, then I.
Do you really think they just like that here? Please. I mean, unless you just want to wear it.
No, but it might distract the Templars.
It was quite very distracting. Sorry.
I don't mind that. Whatever is needed.
Okay. I want to ask some other things, but I think
What? Just
everyone takes what I say and assumes that I mean something else.
Well, okay.
I do not want you to do that.
Well, why don't you try?
Okay. I think she even like paces a little bit, like.
I'll do my best not to jump to conclusions for you.
Especially given what I said to you and what I asked you to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she actually kind of just gets up, walks to him, and just gets not too close to be like, you know, creepy or anything like that, but closer than normal, and just our rogues are very good. And if anything happens out there, it's just you and him.
Yep.
Gets the fuck out if he says to. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to be a great warrior and do fanciful and just grandiose things. Okay? I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying tomorrow is not that day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I swear to the maker, if you do dumb shit and you can't get out, I will haunt you. I'll find a way to do it. Okay?
Okay. Is this a Arlesian way of just saying that you're worried about me?
No.
You sure? You didn't sound sure.
Yes. How can I not be worried? I want epic tales like the you know, Glyphon Riders and all of them. And yeah, how could I not worry?
I don't plan on riding into this battle on a mighty steed of a goat. That's not what I plan on. I'm not going to feel that heroic dressed as I will be. We are the distraction team, and I know that. And if
But-
things get dangerous, I will be sensible.
I'm more
about it.
worried about who we are up against and if it works too well.
You're going in with a group of mages to a team of about 200 strong people who know specifically how to fight against mages. I'm more worried about you all. Because it doesn't sound like you're planning a smash and grab or a sneaking in heist. It sounds like you're wanting to go in all staffs ablazing. And I don't.
But we will have way more than two. I'm confident. They just talked another mage down and Harry killed the man, I think.
I have plenty faith in Harry's ability to unalive people. But just go in to get the stuff that you need. Don't go in thinking that you're going to be able to go up against a small army. You have way more than two, sure, but a lot less than 200.
Have I ever been the type to do that?
Not yet.
I would never. Trust me, I want to get them out alive more than anything.
Okay, well, let's make a promise to one another that whatever we're doing tomorrow, we get out of this alive so that we can get this layer into the people that need it and then go looking for your brother together.
And I think she kind of like adjusts the armor a little bit where the note is that she hasn't read yet.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And she kind of just flicks his hair a little bit and just be careful. Okay.
Yep. All right, go get those elves.
Get some wine. Okay. She's gonna go get the two elves to hear their story and then what they plan on doing.
Yep. For others, I think Flora, you're pretty much on duty of cuddling till asleep at the moment, which seems to be going well. He certainly seems a lot calmer. Doesn't seem ready to like fully speak to you yet about everything that the two of you actually need to speak about.
Conversation for another time.
Well, big time. I think both of you are like, not the day, not the week, not the month, not the year. When will we decompress that? When we're getting ready. But I would say that the others of the troop that are here that are not mages are just being mindful of the rest of you and ensuring that the rest of you are taking care of yourselves. And Craig is sitting a vigil beside Theowen. Only gets as close as you will allow, Theowen, and does not say anything, and is not necessarily doing anything, but he is sitting vigil.
Craig,
Yes.
we should. That's like that's in character.
Yep.
No. Yes. No. Yes. No. We're going into that fortress tomorrow.
Yes.
That can happen to me or anyone else. And I like do like the little thumbs thing. It can go really badly.
Yes.
Badly. Incredibly badly. This is going to be no. Yeah. No. Let's go have sex. you know, like
Yeah.
you don't want to
I-
die not doing it once, right?
No, that would be if that's.
I mean, it's not awful to be that way, but I'm just saying. And, you know what? Never mind.
No.
I think that
think
was
it.
that
No,
was
but
a lot.
okay, if you don't want to, that's fine. I understand.
There's a long history of teenage pregnancies in my family, and I actually don't care about that. But, and I'm saying I don't want to. I do. That's why I offered. But like,
It might be a good way to release serotonin for you.
what's serotonin?
Stuff that makes you feel happy and calm, or
How does that get made?
I don't in your body.
It gets made inside your body?
Yeah,
How do you
like your body does it.
How do you know this?
Well, it's things that you overhear when having guy talk. I have fast learned.
Y'all talk about serotonin?
Yeah. Well, they were talking about things that they do before, like big, like fights or things that you have to prepare for.
Yeah.
And they spoke about stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Things that release serotonin.
I don't understand what serotonin is still.
I'm not really sure I understand either, but I know what it is.
Who taught you this word, Craig? Who taught you about serotonin?
It was Griffin and Reagan when we were having like the chats.
Okay.
When we were talking, they were like, you know, what would actually make you feel better though is, and then discussed some things.
Did you ask them to go into detail about what serotonin was?
I was intensely embarrassed, so I did not ask.
Maybe we should ask first and then have sex.
Okay. Well, they were mostly talking about like, you know, doing it yourself. But it was like a method of like, if you can't sleep, it's something that can. This is very. I'm sweating.
Is it glistening though?
I mean, yeah.
I'm sweating. I kind of am too, actually. I don't think this is serotonin.
Okay. I mean, if you feel that
I just want to make sure serotonin doesn't make me. I just want to know exactly what it is, because what if it like makes me vulnerable, and then that I don't want to happen. That would be awful. So I just want to make sure that serotonin is something that I can handle.
Oh, please, can I walk in at this point?
Yeah. You're maybe coming out to like go and refresh some things, and you kind of like as you're turning, you can hear the conversation, so you maybe like stop for a moment
You don't
so that you can listen.
Part, you just hear the serotonin part. Like,
I'm not sure who to ask.
I'm sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Aviana.
Hello.
What's serotonin?
Oh, it is a think of it like an energy in your body that can make you happy. Your body basically creates it, and it helps balance your emotions.
It's a balancer?
Sorta. It's much more complicated than that, but
No, it's okay. You can get into the complications. This is very important because I need to know if I can handle serotonin produced by intercourse without like problems. So I'm trying to get all of my information on the subject.
I will be right back. Hold on. And Aviana's gonna go to her bag, grab out a little protection pack. and just hand the bag to Theowen.
What is this?
Craig looked like he's about to pass out, by the way.
What is this?
This is to help against unwanted pregnancy. Should you guys wish to have sex, but you should be fine, dear. It's not going to leave you open to demons. In fact, I usually find it helps.
Oh, so
and
you
she's just
have
so
done.
aware of
You've
that.
done it. You've had sex.
Yeah.
I want to walk by at this moment, but Jen's not going to say anything. She's just going
Yeah, I feel like everyone is now becoming aware of the conversation happening.
I think I'm even just going to tap Aviana, just like, okay. Just go
Oh,
talk
not
to
you,
Grog.
Eviana's just like, what's the problem?
That.
It's just like it's the whole we're in a circle, mages fuck.
Yeah, yeah, they sure do. Okay.
I've never been to one, so.
Well. Okay, good.
So
do you
I'll
have
be
the
okay.
answer that you need?
You
then?
know what?
Use the bag.
Where?
It's
You
not
just
the
hear
bag, it's what's inside the bag. Okay.
Yeah,
I
you just
feel like
hear
I need to be
Jen
very particular.
laughing like a loud.
What someone has to teach them. As much as
Again,
a
a
baby little
long
Theo
history of
Craig
teenage
would be
pregnancies
horrible,
in this
but
girl's life. In her
But
family.
everyone downstairs is going to think something's going on up here.
Yeah,
A very
a lot
different
of-
way.
Yeah, a lot of chat and laughter and the signs of stress. Can we leave this space now so that more people don't walk past and
Oh, wait. You. Sorry. There's a grit on my tonsil.
oh
Why did she get sauce?
I think that when Genevieve starts like cackling, Matty,
Yeah.
who has been very seriously keeping an eye on Quintus and Floor, like giving them space, but still
Yeah.
keeping an eye on them and staying in the room with them, as kind of
Yeah.
like 24-hour observation. Like she just kind of glares like suspiciously at the wall, like hearing Genevieve's laughter like coming up, just like, what has she done now? Like what is going on? And like she kind of takes a step towards the door and then glances back at Quintus and Floor and like is kind of like, no. I'm gonna be the grown up. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna keep an eye on them. I'm here if they need anything. Like, I think we established it was quite a big
Yeah.
room, so Maddie is on
It
the
is.
other side of the room to let them talk
Okay.
privately and have some silence. But still, she's just like, why is the Orlesian laughing so much? What is this chaos? Like,
you'll see Jen like passing the door because Jen is now going off to where those two elves were.
what have you done?
I think you'll just kind of see her back up a little bit, come in the room, and just be like, "Oh, Seoin is trying to get a lesson from Aviana about sex, and it is the funniest thing I've ever heard."
What? Am I miscommunicating somehow? I am literally a healer. I could have done this so many times. Why does no one ask me?
Or teaching people. No, don't answer that.
Oh, obviously. I lived in a circle.
Obviously.
We've established this. Everyone sleeps with everyone. There is
me,
no
I get it.
gender opposition. I have not tried at least once. Anyway, sorry. Yes, you were.
No, trust me, Elysian parties. Mwah. Anyway, so it's more the fact that Seoin is asking questions and Clegg might die. I think he might actually just unalive and just fall on the floor.
Die?
And
What are they being told? Genevieve, are you lying to me? Can I try and
No.
roll inside to see if Jenna is fucking with me?
You can go outside, and if you peep your head around, you can see Aviana talking with Theowen, who is sat on the floor still, and Craig is sitting nearby, standing vigil, but looks like he might pass out. Like it's just sitting,
I
processing.
wish I was making it
a
up.
lot.
This is hilarious. I could never make this shit up. It's too funny.
Okay, I think oh, so sorry, that is loud traffic. I think that Theowen is back. So I think that I'm gonna wait for Theowen to put her headphones back on.
Mhm.
There we go. Theowen is back. So I think Maddie, having been brought into this by Jen laughing at Theowen and Craig, Maddie's just gonna
Oh,
lean
sleep
her
tight.
head out of the door, look at Theowyn and Craig, and say, "Hello. I can explain this to you
Sorry.
simply and clearly, and there is a private room in this larger room that you can go into if you would like to."
Oh, that actually sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Please come in here, Genevieve. Leave them alone.
Yes, please. I do not want to be a part of that. Okay.
This, like, that sounds absolutely exactly wonderful. I mean, I had the talk at some point but like, clearly what has been passed down through my family has either worked all too well or not well enough because I exist.
Okay.
You know
Cool.
what I mean?
Yeah, this is easy. And
Mhm.
Maddie's gonna bring them in there. I'm gonna start doing the sex talk. I'm not gonna do the full thing because this is not an OnlyFans stream. And I don't know at what
And
point
I'll be
Twitch
like,
is
no,
gonna have
I
a problem
understand
with
this
us.
part. Yeah.
But yeah,
I know how
broadly
it
speaking,
works.
Maddie will but hey, listen. As a doctor, and also, like, Maddie's in her late 30s and has seen, like, many younger people come through the circle. She is going to be, like, very frank and detailed and just be
Mhm.
like, okay, you're going to want to do this to get comfy. You're going to want to do this. You might want to use this kind of substance. You might want to do these kinds of things. Like,
And
she's
it's all
going to
in
take
the bag, which is great.
yeah, she's going to take everything out of the bag and, like, talk through each item in the bag and explain, like, what they are used for and how, kind of talk a little bit about consent, and then also just, like, if Theowyn brings up her concerns again about, like, serotonin.
Serotonin.
And
Yes, she will ask about serotonin.
Cool. So Maddie will just say, okay, so your body is full of chemicals that help you regulate your emotions. They also help your body manage other things like your digestion and like your temperature. All that
Chemicals like potions?
like, if you break a blade of grass and there's that kind of greeny substance in it, everything in the world has a combination of liquids inside of it. Those liquids mix up like potions in different ways to help people do different kinds of things. And so
I knew fluids were involved for sure.
yeah, no, and like
Yeah.
we've said, there are some really helpful fluids. Some of them your body is
Mhm.
going to make itself. Some of them you can add on if you want to try other stuff. But in terms of serotonin, that is a chemical that's released in your brain, and it will just help you feel calm. It's very, very good for mages,
Oh.
actually. We generally don't have enough of it. So doing things to release stress, whether it's things like exercise, but also things like consensual, healthy sex, is a good way to deal with it. So you will actively, if anything, be safer from possession by having sex with someone that you like and want to have sex with. And straight up, honey, big
Why
part of
did I wait so long to bring this up? I could have had so much stress release. She's like, thank you so much, Maddie. You've helped so much. I feel like I am informed and confident and ready. And I'm gonna look over at Craig. Are you ready to go now?
Yep.
I think Maddie is gonna look at Craig and just, like, get close to him. And, like, how tall is Craig?
He's probably a good, like, 5'11", but like gangly, like he's still growing into himself.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I actually think Maddie is, like, quite tall as well. I think she is, like, 5'10", 5'11", so she's at least, like, towards, like, eye height with him. She just really gets up in his face. And she kind of, like...
like, backs up against the wall.
She just, like, gets up in his face. And she kind of looks him in the eye and is like, to be very clear, if you do anything against her enthusiastic and expressed consent, if you cause her any harm or heartbreak, or just generally do anything to cause this woman any kind of trouble, I know spells that can explode your brain from the inside, and I will use them. Okay?
Maddie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to help me to threaten him like that because I need him to be confident.
Okay, all right, fair enough. On the other, and Maddie's just gonna, like, turn back to Craig, who is still presumably against the wall.
Yeah.
And she's gonna put her hand on his shoulder, and she's gonna say, And she's gonna look him in the eyes, like she's got these like brown eyes. Before they were kind of flat and very furious, and now she kind of softens just a little. Squeezes his shoulder, and she says, "You
him, champ.
are the only Templar that I have ever considered having any faith in, and it is because I have never met anyone as in love with you as that woman behind me is. She thinks you are fucking brilliant, and all she can think to do with her last possible night, like in all of Thedas in existence, is to have sex with you. She thinks that you are the most attractive man. Like, you're gonna have a great fun. Now, please have fun. Remember what I told you. Use lubricant, okay? Great."
Okay.
Thanks.
I let them go.
The night goes as awkwardly as expected, but effective.
Yep. He'll be very glad when the door is closed.
I think Jen, like, she walked off as she was about to, like, she even said something to the rogues, and then she was like, wait, just one moment. And just listened to all of that. It was just like, okay, sorry. We're just a clue of drama. Anyway, I have a room for us if you wish. Just follow me.
They will follow behind you. Their emotional energy is definitely not matching whatever the fuck is happening in that other room.
Nope.
But they will go with you and go into a room where Griffin is sitting. He's maybe like reading at the moment, and then we'll like put it away.
Was it the Grey Warden's books? Just did I get any
Mm.
glimpse of it? Please. I'll even blow for it.
It is not. It's a Varric Tethrith novel.
Okay. I won't
Yeah.
give it then. All right.
But they will come in, and you see her trying to like sit Owen down, and she will remain standing next to him. Have you seen an abomination before?
Me?
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes. I obviously spend a lot of time around the mages.
Have any of your lot turned before? Did you lose
No.
anyone to it?
Not in our circle. Well, sorry, wrong term. Our group. But we've had missions before, and me personally, I have family that I've kept an eye on as best I can.
I had a brother, and some Templars, one of them being the one that we were going after, took him away, and their treatment of him led to him becoming an abomination before he even made it to the circle. So, yeah. Him and Owain were together. And so we set off to make it right.
I can understand that very much. So, is it just you two?
Mm-hmm. We left family members and friends behind. They didn't want us to go this route, but both of us know what we're getting into. We know we may not make it out of this alive, and we are willing to do it anyway.
I I can understand that. So I'm assuming that you have a plan of some kind.
Yes, and she'll pull
You-
out from a
Oh.
bag and just unravel. They are, rather than like official documents, these appear to be somewhat hand drawn, but they are layout of each of the floors of the stronghold.
How did you get these?
We have ways of making recruits get a little talkative.
I see.
Any way that we could.
I was not going to ask.
But if we know what it is that you need, there are several entrances and exits. One of the back doors is down here, and she'll point to one of the lower levels, and it seems that it's one of those strongholds where there is, it's built into what is essentially like a hilly landscape, and a large part of it is built into the large rocky
Right.
hill itself. But there are areas that essentially go into lower than ground level.
Gotcha.
They have stores down there. We were planning on going in through the storage and working our way up, or if we can get high enough and can get ropes across, we were going to go in from top down because we're going after someone specifically. So it depends what your intention is.
And you know where do they have an office? Do they, like, where they're going to be?
Several offices, training spaces, the mess hall, and the spaces where they sleep. We know which one he sleeps in specifically.
So I guess my question is, would he be high-ranking enough to have his own space?
He has a room. He's a knight corporal. So he was given private space to sleep.
Got you. Well, how about this? I have a feeling we are going to the storage rooms, or you can tell me specifically where we might be going. They have a shipment of lyrium that we want, that they don't need.
Yeah, it's at the back here, and she'll show you the ground level. And there's general storage where things like food and other supplies that they need just for the general life inside of the stronghold itself. But through the back, it looks like there is a narrow corridor that leads to where they keep their lyrium, because although it is a legal use of lyrium, a lot of the times in order to keep fully stocked up with the amount that they consume, sometimes they will go down slightly less than legal, and they get away with it because fucking ATAB.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's back there.
Thank you.
There's no direct exit from that room itself. You would have to come back the way that you came in.
Quite. And I realize there is quite a number of them. Our plans were to make a crazy enough distraction to be truly distracting, and try to get them to, potentially leave and look the other way. And I would say it's great that you have told me where this is, and thank you. You can wait for our signal and make it easier if you do not think he is the type to run out first.
Okay. That's an option, although he might go to deal with what's going on. Perhaps we can get in quietly. The two of us are very quiet when we need to be. Take him out and then just make it very loud and obvious as we're leaving, as a signal to you.
Only if you can get out safely, but yes.
Well, like we say.
Yes, I forgot.
But ideally, it would be good We know we have rehearsed several routes, all of the routes, so that if we get stuck somewhere, if something unexpected happens, we know other
Yeah.
ways of getting out.
Plan B. I how old is she? Like, how can I get maybe a vibe on how old they are?
She's looking maybe just into late 20s, maybe. He looks perhaps the same, if a little older. But definitely in that still kind of young adult stage. Elves have a tendency of looking younger than they actually are as well.
Yeah. Because I think there's a look of concern on Jen's face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, but there are still some things to do after and things to make plans for. I'm just saying, don't let it be the first option, okay?
Sure. We've thought about it and spoken about it a lot. And it is more that we're not going to let it cause us to hesitate in anything that we need to do.
Yes. You have to be decisive.
Mm-hmm.
Which I get. I would never... That's why I would never tell you not to. Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah. The way I see it, people like him deserve to be tossed through that veil and let the spirits of all the mages who have been fallen to their hands deal with them on the other side.
I have no doubt that they are waiting.
I sure hope so.
Is there anything that we could help with to make this easier, or do you think this will be enough?
No. I think other than giving you the information, our side of things is pretty sorted.
Okay.
If we can give you the signal by being loud on our exit, that's fine.
That and yes, and to let us know when we need to go in. Not even go in. Do they do guard rotations? Do they check that storeroom often? If you have anything about the day-to-day movements.
I'm not sure about the checking of the stock necessarily, but it's a well-appointed, arms to the teeth stronghold, so none of it feels safe. And creating an opportunity for yourself, if it is a case of going in and finding things and getting it out, then pulling as many of them away from that area as possible sounds like the sensible option.
Well, good to know my crazy idea of goats will come in handy. As you can tell, we didn't do a whiplash back and forth between, super scary shit and then very funny shit. It's a bit much.
Well, I hope that it works. And
it will, one way or another.
Okay. Everyone should get rest tonight.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And if that healer of yours needs stress relief tonight, you can tell her I'm 4 doors down that way. And she'll
trust me. I will go do that immediately.
Maddie, do you need some serotonin?
You know what? She really does. She really does.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask if I could go see her, but this is great.
You're being instructed to where to go.
Jen, in a very genuine moment, is just gonna walk up to you and be like, "So, I think you'll find a surprise 4 doors that way." And give you a wink.
I think that Maddie will give Jen a sincere, slightly cockeyed grin, and then reach out to rustle Jen's hair in a way that I am certain that she will hate, but mostly just to fuck with you. And I am assuming because she's a rogue, she bounces out of the way real fast and evasive.
And then she'll be like, "Stop it! It is already fluffy.
please.
And then she'll like genuinely squeeze your shoulder, and then wander out. And yeah, I was just gonna say that I think probably she knocks on Ailish's door, and if Ailish lets her in, then she just says, "So, I heard it might be our last night in Thedas. Do you want to do something to pass the time?"
I absolutely do. She's just gonna like grab you and pull you into the room.
Yes, get it.
she definitely has some top energy, shall we say? And on that note, everyone, they're gonna be taking breaks and finding their serotonin before the big bang tomorrow. Join us after our
Big
break.
bang tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have about 10 minutes to hydrate, stretch legs, etc. Recommend you do the same. So yeah, see you in 10. everybody. I hope you're all doing well. We the subtitles. Yes, we were having a great break time. We are back, and we have a lot to deal with. Most notably, to go and stick it to these Templars. The evening for many may have been just about relaxing, being pensive, caring for others, but some of us had a very interesting and exciting evening. The next day, you're going to have to roll into putting the plan together. And so we're just going to essentially go through a few scenes to sort of like spotlight things that happen across this day and all of the plans. What do you feel you would be acquiring and then putting in place for that initial part of your plan, with the two elves going in to do theirs at about the same time? Now, I know that we've spoken a few times about what kind of distraction you were creating on the outside. What do we end up settling on? What are we doing?
So Jen will definitely help them both get better clothes. At least maybe some pants underneath. Whatever they're comfortable with. But Jen was also, kind of surveying the landscape and seeing what farmer is there, like what, goats are there, whatever can be used. And I see that. And then essentially gathering literally as much information as she can to make sure that we can infiltrate this place. Study the plans that Ailish
we'll
has
assume that
yeah.
The planning side of things will have done. We're just looking to set in the scene of like, as we approach the stronghold, what is there? What do we see when
what
we get
goats there? We can gather.
Just
make
so
sure
many.
I can find where we're going in.
Yeah.
And then chat with Hari, because he's our quartermaster. Make sure I've got enough arrows and things of that nature. And then also he is good to scout ahead.
Yes, you can have confirmed with him. He will acknowledge that and be dressed in like how some people just dress. Hot boy when they're dressing up to be roguey assassins. It's a great look on him. He's way more black than normal. And
Probably
we'll
has a
comment on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Henleys are just really slutty on men, so it was
yeah, Jen's going to comment on it in a sky's blue, you're hot, cool. And if you can message me this if you want, but Jen in the quiet moment would read that note because she doesn't want to go into this, potentially die and not know what it says. So, but she definitely wouldn't do that with other people.
Okay. I will get back to you on that because I'll type it out for
Sounds
you.
good.
But yes, we have several goats. We have men dressed a certain way. And Harry has dipped off to go in where you plan on entering so that he can scout ahead. Basically, you guys are going to be going into each area, him having gone in first. So on top of the goats, what else do we have in place? Because there was talk of covering them and stuff, summoning skeletons, or mists. What are we doing?
I didn't know. Did we want to make it look like there were more of us outside? Was that because Eviana would help with that to like get the illusion-y, like either collecting things that glowed, maybe even chipping up a glowstone to kind of like make it look like eyes in the forest, that kind of a thing.
I would think so personally. Just we got to make it enticing enough for them to actually leave, and if not leave, just migrate away from where we're going. Yeah.
So Aviana would help with that, and I think in like as she's setting it up, just kind of seeing Reagan get ready, she's just gonna kind of go over and say, "Please be careful."
I will.
Don't do stupid things. Just run.
Okay. All right. I will run. We can always come in and join you.
No, it's too dangerous in there. No.
So it's too dangerous for us, but not for you guys?
No, that's different. No, I have to go. You don't.
Okay. Okay.
If you are safe, I will be feeling better. And just, please.
If things sound like they're getting bad in there, I am going to come in to help you.
Fine. She just finished setting things up, grumbles, but
He's going to lean down and give you a kiss on your forehead.
It kind of just softens for a minute and just, I cannot wait to be done with this. And just finishes setting everything up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so we have lots of goats. We have the costumes. We have potentially lights going on in the trees to make it look like there are more people there. Anything else we're layering onto this?
Ethically source some skeletons.
Ethically sourced skeletons. Yep.
I think before anyone had arrived, all of that, they would arrange the delivery of a care package to the fortress, thanking the Templars for their devotion to silver service. And it's just 4 dozen cookies of various flavors.
Okay. All right.
There's a
Care
little,
package sent.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, a little care package that arrived that morning.
Thank you for keeping us safe.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm.
And then I think spotted around, like kind of between a little way away from the stronghold, like, you know, far enough that if someone stopped there, they would still be far enough away that they wouldn't notice us, close to where our distraction is. I'm gonna, well, I would like to try and do some spells to put down some glyphs of paralysis, so that when they run towards this distraction, ideally, like, one or two of them should freeze and just be locked in place.
Okay.
I have to roll. I can hold a number of glyphs equal to my magic ability, which is 3, so I can hold 3 of them, but I have to roll for each of them to see whether or not.
Okay. Okay, so if you want to roll for those, Flor, if you can do me a roll, it doesn't necessarily have to be a spell casting roll necessarily, but the whatever magic focus is your, I think it's entropy for you, isn't it?
Yeah, for necromancy entropy.
Yeah, so if you can do me a roll just to see how you're doing with your ethically sourced skeletons.
Oh, fuck.
Gosh, yes, hell yes. All right. Very good. And then Aviana, can you roll for your sort of illusions that are going on in the tree lines? Okay.
Yep. What
Good.
magic for that?
It's up to you. So magic and then a focus if you feel that you have one that applies.
I only have blood magic for that, so
Okay.
I don't know if we want to
Just Bridget.
just
go for
basic.
Can I check? Did we restore mana whilst we were resting at this inn?
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay.
When you're sleeping, you restore mana that is 10 plus your magic number. For long rest, but short rests are also 5 plus your mana, which you guys technically would have had a bit of that as well. So you can assume that you're full.
Thank you.
And I have a similar question.
Yeah.
When we cast in the spells, does it say how much mana is being used when we use it?
Specific spells will tell you how much mana it is. For people who are just rolling for magic, I'm fine for just, you know, yes-anding that situation.
Yeah, for my
see them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For my glyphs specifically, they cost me 3 mana each, and all of them went off. So I will kind of place them around about, and I mean, Hamelu, I assume you know, but yeah, it's first enemy within 2 yards triggers it, and if they fail the test, which is their Constitution stamina versus my spell power, then they're paralyzed 1d3 rounds. They can take no actions and have a defense of 7.
Amazing. So you're kind of setting that up in the sort of front entranceway where
Like
they would be
my
coming
idea
out.
is to essentially create like a little trail just in front of and like going into our distraction. So like I don't want them to be frozen next to the walls of the fortress, you know.
Yeah.
It's not really very helpful.
Yeah.
I want it to happen like ideally in the confusion so that they can almost like this is less of a debilitating thing and more of an enhancing the panic thing. Like if it's not going to get all of them, but if 2 or 3 guys are like, I can't move and there's goats screaming,
It's
then,
just
like,
gonna wrap
chaos.
into the chaos. Yeah. Love it. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, there's a very big sort of bridge road that leads up to the entranceway of this stronghold itself. So you can go and like just quietly put those in place. Aviana, you definitely succeed with yours. I would say with the 5 stunt, you're able to get quite a lot of them, and then you create this sort of like mist effect. So it's kind of hard to see what might be causing it, just the glow of those eyes from the tree lines. Maybe a little bit of sound thrown in there as well, because why not?
Well, no, I don't want to be cheeky, but since it's relevant, I did get a 6-point stunt on my glyphs of paralysis. So if there's anything the GM wants to do when they go off that helps us, please consider that. I also clicked 1 too many times, so I did get 1 more 6, but that was the 4th one, so I don't think it counts. But I did, of the 3 that I rolled, I got two 2 stunts and 1 6 stunt.
Okay.
Just in case it helps us.
Yeah. I can't see the 6. I can only see the 2.
It's like 1, 2, and then it's just the reason you can't see it is because it's just before Floor's roll. So if you go,
it didn't stunt though, because you need a double number.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
The stunt show is green.
I understand.
It's green and it tells you that you've stunted. But however, you did stunt with 2, so I don't mind just saying that maybe you get an extra 1 off. So you've got 3, but an extra secret 4th one.
Thanks.
That is totally fine. Floor, you got 4 stunts with yours as well. So I would say that you're like you animate the skeletons and they're just, you managed to make them kind of creepy. What color, if they were to glow, what color would you want them glowing?
I think they would just take on like that similar color that Floor's like mana takes on, which is that like sickly green color.
Excellent. Yeah. So with our small army of goats, our 2 goat herders, some glowing green skeletons, creepy eyes in the tree line, you are ready to go. Are you allowing for the 2 elves to be the trigger point that would let them know that something is out here, or do you want to do something as a group that sort of alerts to the presence of the distraction? Is there something that you want to be your trigger point for causing the chaos?
Is it?
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, to me, it's funnier if the goat's like making noise and it starts becoming a cacophony. Is way funnier.
Okay,
but I'm down for.
I would say, yeah. If you want that to have been your trigger point, basically, the closer that they get, your 2 goat herders can just start like prodding at a couple of them, not to hurt them, but to make them like make a bit of a sound, and then like try to scoot them along by clapping, and then as they kind of get a little panic, to start running towards this place, and then there's a bridge, but there's like a creepy thing, and there's skeletons everywhere, and they get spooked, and then just generally there is just this sounds of
goats and skeletons. Just
look, goats
scary skeletons
in the scare scream are terrifying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just like 1 or 2 of them,
eyes.
And then like 20 of them. That would be so scary and so funny.
And then skeletons,
like in Monty Python, the Holy Grail, when it's just like up above the parapet of the castle. People just looking up, being like, oh, "What's that?" And then they go away, and then like they clearly like maybe have spoken to someone, and then 3 people come and like, and then 4 of them are coming.
I'm not saying
what's going on.
I was inspired. No, I'm kidding. I really hope that happens. And then just as a quick note, before we go in, I will take the incense of awareness before we go in there.
Yes. Anybody that has anything that you want to like prep with before we go in. So you all will then obviously be off to the side, and I would like to think that you're all like huddled in a bush waiting for this. And then as the sound starts to happen, and then you see all the like multiplying heads of Templars popping up to see what's going on, you're able to be huddled away, and you can see not only what was seen in the plans that Ailish had, but also in what you were able to feel when you did your little cerebro scan, Massey, where it is this sort of like entryway that goes down and underneath the keep itself, which is where you're going to be heading. And you sit and wait, and you can see the sort of doorway slowly open of this door as a couple of them, like, they're just standing at the door at the moment, peering out at what's going on, and they're like trying to call to your two goat herders. And all they're really getting met with is like the sounds, but then they realize that some of the people coming with this are not actually people, it was moving skeletons. And just on that moment where you're like, oh, what's gonna happen, you hear the sound of what's basically a flashbang happening inside the keep itself. You can hear, and you can kind of see this sort of like bright flash of light as well.
I think
I too
while
have
this
something
happens, Jen's just
Mhm.
looking at her, be like, "Oh, this is so good." And she'll even like sneak over to Aviana and just be like, "Oh, you like and it's quite good at this."
Mhm.
Just quiet blush. Also of Genevieve, we have work to do. Okay?
Oh, it's gonna at least be fun. What's the point if we don't laugh a little bit?
Mhm.
She just walks forward
Yeah.
in the stressed middle
Mhm.
child of people
Yeah.
could die.
No, it'll be fine. And
People
then
died, and it's just goats and skeletons. Okay, so like as that's kind of happening, you see that sort of like tense moment, and then this little conversation between two of you, and it's maybe cut short when the flashbang happens, and you all kind of like brace a little. And then you can hear, because there's several of them now, just moving around, the sounds of shouts and calls, and you can see a few of them starting to go and like run out towards the distraction. Matty, you see a couple of your glyphs going off, and a few of them like clatter to the ground. And it gives you that you can hear a lot of the kerfuffle happening on like the third floor, and you reckon that was perhaps your two elves. You're now able to go in. So first of all, can we just get a little collective stealth roll from everybody on your way in? And then I would like to know what your plan is once you get in this building. I'll describe what you see when you go in first, actually. Let's just get those stealths. Look at y'all stunting. Ooh.
oh, look at us go.
Ooh, you be stunting.
What's
Okay.
stealth under?
Dexterity.
Dexterity.
Oh,
I have a 0 in.
There it is. So I have to find the
Mm.
losing.
Floor's at the back.
Okay.
Mhm.
What happened?
I'm coming. I'm also on my way.
Mhm.
1 second. Stealth. Oh my god. I'm proficient in
Nice.
stealth.
Hey.
All right. We can assume Craig does okay. He's all armored up. And you guys are able to head in. When you first go in,
Like he belongs.
yeah, like you will see that as nervous and as anxious and out of place he seems to feel in most situations. Here, armored going into this, you suddenly see a slight shift in him, and he seems very driven.
I'm sorry. I just the thing, he has post nut clarity. It's like
Yeah, you made him a man.
Sorry, I couldn't share that moment.
Yeah. So as you enter, you get past the first couple of rooms, which you would have assumed to be kind of empty at this time of night anyway. But you come into a corridor and you see two Templars who are not necessarily fully armored, but you can tell just from the general clothing that they're wearing that this is like the day wear of just life in the stronghold. On the floor, you have to step over them. It seems that Harry is very effectively doing his job of scouting ahead for you. As you're heading in, is there any tactics or things or scenes you're like, you know what, I think I'm going to go in and try and do this, and this is what is going to happen? I'd like you guys just to kind of, we'll all collectively tell the story of what happens as you get in here.
Yeah.
You're trying to make your way to the back end of the stronghold. So
Jen is definitely first, and
Mhm.
she's not like walking through with the bow ready, but she does have knocked 2 bullseye arrows specifically with the death root extracts tied on. And especially with her heightened perception, with the incense of awareness, she's trusting Hari, of course, but any, unfavorable movement that may have come after Hari has gone through, she's going to be ready to fire it and incapacitate anyone that might have come behind.
Sure. So as you're kind of coming up to this corridor, it tees off. You can see the direction that Harry went because he's leaving a bit of a trail behind him. But down the other side, you see two people suddenly coming out, and they're still not fully armored right this second, but they've grabbed a shield and a sword. They're going to spot you. This is your opportunity. Roll to be like, you know what? Nope.
I think she's just like, you don't need that, and she'll let one fly. So let me do this longbow, and then to this I get bullseye arrows when taking aim +3 instead of +1, but I get a +2 anyway. Let's see. Yes. So
let's call that +4.
Yeah. That's a 21 +4, so 25.
Oh, you're like, Harry, you're not the only rogue who knows.
And so also I got 5 step points. I don't know if you'll let me do anything with that, but anyway,
do all the things. What would you
do
like?
all the things. So I'm only going to use one, and I think aim it just well enough. And you don't need those, and we'll get between both of them so that they both get hit. I don't have to use both my other extracts right now. When it hits, the really fragile glass explodes on the ground, and just puffs of smoke come up from it. And I don't even think we see them hit the ground. You just hear it, like the clanks and everything of their armor, their weapons, whatever they had.
Yeah,
and I think she'll look at the rest of the group. Just give it a moment to settle, and we can go for it.
You're probably going the other way. They were coming from further.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You take care of business swiftly and with little effort.
And I will nudge the second one just in case.
Just in case. Okay. Anybody else, as we're kind of starting to progress through following this trail, is there anything that you want to set up for yourself that you may have to do on the way in?
We would have seen the maps and everything, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think trying to, if we know the paths that the elves and Hari are taking, Floor would.
Just to clarify, so Harry's going ahead of you guys. You guys are all basement level, lower than basement level, to get to this storage. So he is making a trail for you. You know that the two elves are upstairs. They were assassinating someone, and they made the flashbang upstairs. So they are on a different path to you right now, but you know, roughly speaking, where they were when that happened. They're going to be doing their own fight to get out. Maybe you'll have to go and help them later, but yes, so you're following this path.
Following the path. Floor would try to glyph of ceiling lock off any major points, if there's an armory they can touch, lock that down.
Sure, you can maybe peel off to just go up a flight of stairs because you saw that the room is there, and absolutely you can go and roll that. Roll what you would like for that magic. Roll the spell if you have it. Okay, you reached 11 and your target number was 11, so you made it.
Yay.
Yay.
All we needed. That's going to stay locked until they break it down.
Do you want to have formed this glyph into a particular message? Is there anything you would like to write on this door to any Templars who would like to go in there?
I think it might feel a little bit too edgy, but I think Floor would turn the glyph into a message that just says, "The Maker might not damn you, but I will."
Yes,
hey, let's go.
Yes, I love that. Absolutely, you can. Okay, so you do that little laugh to yourself, being like, "Fantastic," and then you can regroup as needed. Anybody else doing anything in particular?
I might try and enter summoning mode, so that if I need to, I can use spirit healer spells. We haven't really been observing me actually doing that because I haven't really been casting spirit healer spells, but I technically need
forth.
yeah. So I'm scared. I hope I pass the test. We'll see. Okay. What did I get? Oh, I did it. Just the target
it.
number was 14.
Yeah. So you pull forth. How far are you pulling hope? In and surrounding you, or do you want to pull hope actually here on the battlefield?
I think I really like the idea of the description that you gave a few sessions back of having hope as kind of like a mantle and being
Yes.
real spooky with it. So like
Yeah.
big kind of like glowing blue-white antlers and this kind of like tattered cape of spirit and this just like
Mhm.
kind of like shifting ghostly two faces thing happening where like
Yeah.
that like 1 second Matty turns her head and it's human and the other like
Yeah.
with this blue-white spirit face.
Yeah. Lovely. You do that, and as you're doing it, as you're pulling hope in, you start to hear a resounding sound, and you can hear further metal clanging of more of your glyphs going off, and there's just basically a pile of tempos there, blocking the way. So hope almost like amplifies it for you to be like, it's working. Very good. Anything else? Anyone pulling in? Because you'll be getting closer to where the learning is. I will say that the closer that you get, you may just start to really feel that this is a room full of lyrium. So you're gonna be feeling it's basically like vibrating on the air for you.
Eviana, now I am not as familiar as everybody else is as far as lore stuff, but I'm assuming if I go into blood magic mode, it'll be like a big be-do for all the Templars to see. Or is
If
it like a
they
mild
come around the corner, they
be-do?
might say, well, here's the thing. What I will say is that, yeah, you'll have this sort of like red haze around you, and if they see it, they might think, oh, that's a blood mage. However, I will say that if you do it and you're successful in your role of turning it on, the first people that you see are going to be intimidated by you because of that. Because it's kind of scary. Blood mages, people are scared of it for a reason. Because a lot of people use very powerful magic, and a lot of the times it gets used in very bad ways. But if you want to do that and it is successful, like I say, I will give you a little spice added onto that.
Yeah, I would love to.
Sure.
Now to remember, how do I do this?
Do you have a blood magic focus?
Yes, I do.
Then just click that.
All right.
You know what? 3 stun points, I'll honor it. The next 3 people that see you are going to be terrified of you.
Fantastic. But
Yeah.
as I turn that on, I'm gonna be like the last because I am probably one of the slowest of the group.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna be picking up coin purses as we go, like being the good little loot whore that I am in every
yeah,
game that I
listen.
am. Like just
Yeah.
pockets, 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 pockets.
Yep. I love it. You're just like, you don't need this, and you don't need that, and you definitely don't need this. Yes, absolutely, you can do that. Wonderful. Theowyn, are you doing anything as we approach? Or like as we get to the room, maybe?
Yeah, Theowen doesn't know. Like, whatever magic Theowen does have, it's very violent. So she's just like, I'm just gonna keep watch. Yeah, she's just gonna like be like on full perception mode to just make sure no one sneaks up on them.
I mean, if you want, it's up to you. Maybe she wouldn't turn it to this kind of purpose, but there is going to be a pretty heavy door barring your way.
Oh,
And a
yeah.
rogue can try and get through it, yes, but you could also just turn that wood to smithereens if you really focused yourself.
I could. She could. So
you maybe hear a lot of like sounds. There's a lot of clanging. It feels very dangerous and a bit scary. You're just like, we need to hurry up. And
yeah,
you just
that
like,
is fair. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna punch this door with magic.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Do you want to roll for that and then describe to me exactly what that looks like?
Yeah, I think this is just gonna be like a version of
Hadouken.
yeah, just or a Kamehameha. No, it's gonna be a version of Fist of the Maker.
Okay. Yeah.
Where it's just sort of like she mostly uses her hands for casting. She doesn't carry a staff.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's literally just like her basically spirit bombing this thing as quickly as possible. Like one hand, ooh, give it to me, and just does.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe this without sounding silly. So
It's as silly as you want.
yeah.
Yeah,
but
you can basically.
I
it's that door.
imagine like people are trying to figure out how to open this door,
Yeah.
and then there's just like this pressure in the air as it seems like things are just the entire like almost like the oxygen is just sort of being like taken out, just like in remoleculed, and everyone just turns and sees Theowen, and she's like, I think you should move.
Yeah, I think Hari
Ooh,
and
yes.
Jin would definitely, because Jin is a thief. Like has tools and just goes and just grabs Hari and just moves. Like
I
nope.
think you should move. Okay. And so for Fist of the Maker, cast the spell. Did I do good?
You sure as heck did.
Cool. Should I roll the damage for it or just assume
Nah, listen,
Yeah.
with 5 skill points, you turn, you know, like the big doors in Inquisition where you turn them to smithereens and you get the fragment at the end. You basically just like annihilate the entire door, and it's just
splinters
wood
everywhere.
splinters everywhere on the inside. Yeah, it's just like scatters all across this room, and then you guys can see big crates, and a couple of them are already conveniently on this like pulley thing. So if you load up the rest of it on, you'll be able to now start to pull this out of the way. Yes, Matthew.
That's what serotonin's capable of.
Yeah.
GM question. We're in a massive storehouse of lyrium, and we all just spent some mana to do some spells.
Yep.
Can we just take a lyrium
Yeah.
potion and drink one each
Yeah,
so we can restore our mana?
absolutely.
Great, cool.
You sure can. You guys get to soup yourselves up to top. In theory, Craig could to do that to try and awaken some things that he never got around to training to, but he chooses not to.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good choice, Craig. It's a good choice.
Craig's already had enough a weekend.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I think with Hari done his job very well, Jim will grab him and just be like, "Go make sure the cart is ready."
Okay, me and Craig can get this cart out. You guys will hear you can hear a fight happening upstairs, which implies that your elves maybe haven't gotten out quite as smoothly as they may have hoped.
And Maddie runs in that direction.
Yeah.
Maddie.
She's gone.
I
we should go
follow.
after her. Yeah. Or should I stay or should I go?
Craig's like, we got this. It's fine. Go
as long, yeah. That's how like then she's like, there's
Always
a
have it.
F ton of crates over here. Like we can't move them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. So if
Craig, move the boxes.
yeah, like
Craig and Harry are already on this, and they're just like,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With Maddie running, I think Jen's just like make and just will the arrow that she has notched ready to just knock people out.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll run after her.
So we are running our way.
Begrudgingly.
Okay, I guess I'm going.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's just move that. So you are able to start making your way upstairs, everybody. You follow the sounds of fighting. You can hear in one of the rooms like groans, where it seems that your cookies may be doing the trick with a few of them.
Perfect.
They
were all about to fight, and then they had that comedic
Yeah.
stomach gurgle. It's like, oh wait.
In plate mail? Oh no. Okay, so you're able to now follow the sounds of the fight, and you can go and you can see that they managed to get quite far. They were very nearly at one edge where you can see like this big window, but there's this large room. It's maybe some sort of meeting room. It's maybe where they take meals, and there's a good like 6 or 7 like around them. So they are very much cornered on their way out. You can see that they've managed to take a couple out already. They're doing all right, but they are now overwhelmed in numbers, and you guys are able to come swarming in.
Here, Templars them.
You're coming into a big room where like they're maybe in the center of the room, so there's several of them.
So they're around them. Okay.
Yeah, they're surrounding them. They have not heard that you're coming in. We'll keep it fairly theater of their mind, and just if you just state your intentions about what you want to do in this fight, make it as big and epic as cool as you want. What are you doing? We can just go around the table.
I'm definitely going to take the Death Root Extract arrow that I have, the
Mhm.
bullseye arrows, and I'm going to just rapid fire as much as I can. So the first one will try to knock out a couple if possible, and especially at their backs. Whoever is at their back, I'm going to try to take out first.
Sure. Roll to hit.
Yeah. And this, are we still doing +4 for bullseye and
If you're aiming, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Normally your aim is 2, and then bullseye arrow is upping it
Yeah.
by yeah. Sure.
Okay. Yes, of course I'm going to aim. 16 plus whatever you're going to give me.
Yeah, that hits.
And I
Yeah.
stunted. Can
You
I
sure
like
did.
knock some back?
Yeah, you know what? You kind of knock a couple, and like it knocks them to the floor, and then there's like the vapor
Explosion.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like and they're just like coughing. It made a really big satisfying clang of like big strong people fall into the ground in heavy plate mail. Satisfying.
And I think with that, Genevieve would try to yell over the clatter, just pop away out and take down more if she can with the bullseye arrows, because she's got about 8 more.
Yeah, so you're just like basically there, range peppering in. Next, Thalen, what you doing?
There's some Templars attacking these elves.
Lots, yeah, and there's
How many
more.
Templars are there?
At the moment, what you can see was 6 or 7, but you can hear that there are others around. Basically, there's just this area is getting swarmed. So currently, with the 2 that hit the ground, we'll say that there's about 5 up and around them.
All right. I am. It's. Let's see. What are the rogue? Well, this is going to. What are the rogues? Excuse me. What are the elves' class?
They're both rogues.
They're both rogues, and I have a rogue with me. All right, cool.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and do some support for my friends here, and I'm gonna cast telekinetic weapons.
Yes.
Because the readied melee weapons of all allies within 10 yards of you pulse with arcane force. Effective weapons inflict bonus damage equal to your magic ability. And any attack made with an effective weapon that generates stunt points may treat the pierce arming stunt at 1 fewer stunt point. The enchantment lasts for 1 minute, but can extend the duration when you cast a spell by spending an additional 6 MP for the extra minute. Sort of thing. So it can go concurrently.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and give that spell a little cast. I think I do okay.
You do indeed.
And so I get stunt points with that. Let's see what I can do with my magic. And then I'll exploration, healing, combat, spell stunts. Then we'll see how that's flavored here. I got 5.
Jen is cackling if she notices her arrows are hitting
Yeah.
harder and deeper. Oh yeah, she's just like,
oh yeah,
it's full on cackle.
It's getting strong.
While you're looking,
yeah.
With their blades now, with the telekinetic force, I'll say that Eilish probably like gets one down and like fully like gets him on the ground and gets on top of him and like 3 stabs, one after the other. Just be like, "Mate, your fucking maker."
Yep, I'm gonna
do.
Yep, I'm doing a combination of skillful casting that reduces my mana cost by 1, and then which is for 2, and then for 3, lasting spell is that it's extended twice the original, so it's now for 2 minutes with no additional mana cost.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Instead of 8 points, take 7 for me.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Everybody's like weapons just start glowing. It's
yeah.
And my you get a plus, and it's real quick. Let me look at my sheet.
Flora,
I believe it's a plus equal to my magic ability, which is a 4. So You get +4
Mm-hmm.
to
Beautiful.
stuff. Yeah. There you go. That's what I did. It's my
Okay.
turn.
Very good. Flora, what you doing?
Can I choose to go last?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Aviana, what are you doing?
So I'm going to use blood wound since if this is a smaller area, meaning within like 7 squares of myself, blood wound will basically affect everybody that is an enemy of mine within that area.
Mhm.
So whereas hemorrhage does a lot more damage, it's a singular blood
Yeah,
wound just gets everybody.
it does. Equal opportunities, blood magic.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use my blood magic die, which means I'm gonna take some damage, but it'll give me
Yeah.
some mana. So I take 5 points.
Huh?
But that means that it only costs 3 mana to do this.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it works.
Sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
Oh,
does.
oh boy, does it. So that's a 22 when you needed to make 17. So you absolutely succeed and you got 6 stun points. What I will say is there's a lot of things that you could do with this, but if you really want this to be a big whammy, you can do lethal spell, which does an extra 2d6 damage.
I would love to do that.
Great. Sure. So you just roll in some extra hurties. You can roll the damage and then an extra 2d6. And it's
Alright.
happening to all of them. Some of them are already looking a bit hurt.
So 5 and then the 2d6. Uh, 15 total.
Beautiful. So as you kind of round the corner, there's a moment where like the fighting is happening, but a couple of them become aware of more people. Some of them are gonna look over and like gasp and look kind of horrified at you entering the room just as you unleash this spell on them. A couple of them are going to, we don't have to go into the gory details of it, but a lot of bleeding happens. And even the ones that like fell on the ground affected by the death root are also affected by this. So this, it's yeah. You'll
Best
see Owen like turn around and like eye you and in a very thankful, like, oh thank goodness you're here, kind of way. He's looking a bit beat up.
Best part is everybody
Yeah.
affected by it can only take minor actions.
Oh, oh here, yeah, kicking ass, taking names. Let's go, Matty. What would you like to do? There are people here that could definitely be hurted, but equally there's a couple people who could do with healed. So you know, however you want to flavor coming in here and.
Is the Templar who Ailish Shinowain wanted to kill still alive?
It is assumed that he is dead because they managed to get this far.
Okay,
But they alerted a lot of people, so there's a lot of others now around them.
Yeah, is there anyone obviously in charge?
Yes, I will say there is one who looks like he is more boss.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to do a spell, but it's got a target number of 17, so I don't know if it'll actually go off. So I'm going to roll and see if I can do it. Ah! I got 17!
You sure did. Oh, my favorite spell in the whole wide world ever!
Yeah. So, yeah, Maddie, like, runs in, looks at this room, and with the kind of triage brain, like, assesses the room, but instead of looking for people to help, she is looking for people to hurt.
Can I add just a little bit of flavor for you? That the guy that you see that kind of looks like he's definitely more in charge is about to land a blow on Ailish, who is currently on the ground, having just stabbed this guy. Just for some flavor. Go ahead.
Great.
All right.
Love that. So, yeah, kind of assesses the room, sees one guy has lived in a circle for 30 years, so I actually know how Templar uniforms work and what ranks are who. And so sees the guy who is in charge and also who's about to attack this real hot lady elf. And she just like sees that, like thrusts her arm forward and like just makes a claw with her hand, and as she does, like the air shifts and blue light comes down, strikes through him, and I cast Crushing Prison on him. So he is stuck in a contracting cage of force. The spell immediately deals 1d6 plus magic damage, and then target must succeed on a Constitution Stamina test versus your spell power, or become immobilized. My spell power is 13.
Only 10.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he is now immobilized.
Yep.
And I'll just roll the damage, and then next turn, he'll take more
Sure.
damage.
Yeah.
But
We'll just assume that it's just doing that like continual damage as you're kind of he'll drop the weapon that he was holding as he's doing it. When you do it, that sort of like mantle of like slightly tattered fade cloak like billows slightly as you cast it. It looks very cool.
and that's 8 damage. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, we love to see it. Hey, Flora.
Hi. So,
Mhm.
what is the situation right now? Like, how much shit are we in?
Okay, I would say there's 5 unalived Templars. You have 2 that are still standing. You can hear sounds of like other people around you. There is clearly other things happening. Some people have clearly gone downstairs and outside and dealing with stuff, and there's a lot of hubbub happening outside. And your friends around doing some cool stuff. And Ailish currently like straddling over Guy, having just repeatedly stabbed him.
We love that.
We love that.
So, what would you say I would need to do if I like wanted to just resurrect all of these Templar corpses sitting around here? Like, I will take whatever you make me do to make this work.
Okay. So you're wanting to tap into some pretty powerful, like getting them all.
I
take-
will like cut my health if I have to severely.
Yeah. I would say that, and you know what? You maybe are inspired by knowing that clearly in the right hands for the right purpose, this is not bad magic. If you're willing to cross that line and then succeed on an entropy roll, absolutely, I will let you resurrect these guys to kill their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for their own good.
Spreading the love. I will allow you to add a +2 to what you roll, but if you're tapping into something.
I mean, it's entropy.
It is.
So.
It sure is. There you go. Beautiful. With a +2, that is an 18. That is an incredible roll. Yeah. Yeah. Can you, with 1 skill point, so you can add a little flavor onto this, please describe to us what this looks like as you do this, make this commitment, and really badass magic.
Yeah. So in general, there is like death magic, which is a spell where every dead thing gives you health back.
Yes.
And I think this is kind of like the opposite of that, where I want to say like the room just kind of like grows like a little bit darker, and floor just kind of like lights up that just like that sickly green mana color that they manifest. And it's very, very bright for a moment. And then it just starts to like wisp off into these corpses. And like as they grow like a little bit dimmer, like these corpses just start raising up.
Like the proper like floating up to
Yes.
their feet. Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
think the floor grows really, probably a little pale, probably really tired looking, if not worse. And but all of these corpses just start to come up around them, around their friends.
Yeah, a little defense force around you, if you will. Absolutely.
Ew.
So yeah.
That was in character.
Yeah. I thought we killed them. Okay. So needless to say, you guys definitely get the advantage, and seeing the sight of the other Templars rising up, one of them seems to lose his conviction and goes to try to run away. The other goes to like defend against the other Templars, but they very quickly will slice him down. Does anyone want to deal with the runner?
Yep, he ain't getting away.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. You're turning around. You're like, I got telekinetic arrows.
No.
I'm
Because honestly, if it started to calm down, Jen was basically going to linchpin where they were coming from.
Sure.
Just,
you can
they're
go
a nice little hallway.
Yeah.
But yeah,
go for it.
he's
Yeah,
not
you can.
getting away.
You can. Some spice. Yes.
Oh no.
And you get a boost to your boosted damage, right, with the telekinetic whip.
Yeah, I was gonna say I get a
Yeah.
+5 to my
Yeah.
damage. Now I get a +9.
Hell yeah.
And my aim is +4. I love this. So that's a 20 total.
Yeah,
And
yes.
then what's my damage? Oh no, it's 18.
It's your
Oh,
damage,
no.
brother. Oh no, it's 18. Oh, it's so bad for you.
One arrow as well. Like
Yeah.
one arrow that does 18 damage. This arrow is a fucking nuke.
Yeah, I'd like to think that like where they've got like the big like bucket helmet things that they've got on, there's like just enough of a gap between that and the actual back of this chest plate where you just like go straight in through the back of that.
Yep.
And he just
And
like
then it
clatters to the ground.
explodes.
Clatters to the ground,
Explodes.
skids along the ground as it explodes into it's great.
And to be honest, the moment she saw Maddie grab the big guy,
yeah.
I honestly think Jen would have just unloaded. Can't go anywhere.
He can't go anywhere. Yeah, you guys can see because he's just like suspended and continually taking damage with it.
Oh no!
As Mate holds that intention of like crushing the spirit out of this man.
Wait, if he's in the air, I think
sure
it would
is.
just be really funny if
Yeah.
like all the dead Templars are just hitting him like a pinata.
Yeah.
It's like from Shaun of the Dead where it's just like everyone loading on the same thing. Yeah.
Especially him being the leader. Nah.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
You're like, we don't need to get our hands dirty when we can make them do it for us. Yeah. Okay. So needless to say, you succeed in your battle up here. You have managed to liberate your two elven friends. You'll see standing up, there's like blood splattered on Ailish's face and like covering her hand where she was holding the dagger, and she's just gonna go up to you, Matt, and be like, that was so fucking hot, and start making out with you. Just in the middle of the battlefield.
As much as this is very fun, we need to get the hell out of here.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, so Maddie is gonna just, like enjoy for a second.
Yeah.
Then withdraw, and kind of lightly put a finger on Ailish's lips and be like, you can pay me back for this later, but I do need to make sure everyone's okay. And then I would like to cast a group heal, please.
Sure,
To make sure everyone's okay. Is anyone actually missing life? I mean, Aviana paid some life for blood magic.
Yes, but I'm in blood magic mode, so I can't heal.
You can't be healed.
Yeah.
Or...
The two elves had taken a bit of a beating, so you can.
Yeah. I want to cast it at least for them, but all right,
Sure.
great.
Do you heal her through your lips? Just wondering. Okay, sorry.
I
didn't say that.
I reckon Maddie probably can. Again, circle, right? Like it's just like you have a lot of time on your hands.
Yeah.
And a lot of
practice and things.
Season that a little bit.
Different kinds of ways. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. Like I'll make out with her and
You're voted that way.
make out with her.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like if y'all remember the Vancouver riots in 2011, where it's just that photo of like that couple kissing in the middle of the riot. Like that's how I imagine it.
Yes. There are glowing dead Templars walking around. No, I'm kidding. Genevieve is going to shoot on their escape out kind of thing. Like she was first in, she's going to be last out to make sure we can get out of here.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, you guys can kind of cover that exit. You have a way down. If you where you are with this window, you could jump down to a lower balcony fairly easily enough, and then start to make your exit out around that way. Yeah.
And we will help Aviana with that. Mm-hmm. Imagine we all will. Like, like the locked arm cage catch. Yeah.
Magic is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Okay.
If we are being followed, and if Aviana does have help to help her get from point A to point B, she will just constantly be putting out blood wound pulses. Basically, just until we are out, she's going to be just spending it.
How adverse is Aviana being touched by dead things?
She doesn't care, but there's so much worse that she's been through that is nothing.
Then Aviana has being held.
Yes. No, I imagine a chair and
by some enthralled dead Templars. Okay. So you're able to make about. You now have about. You could have up to the 7 if you want. Templars following you around. Eventually, you can go out and you can see that. Amusingly enough, when you get around, it looks like even though you kind of told both of them to like be careful, be sensible about what you're doing. You can see that like along this bridge, you're starting to see that some template, like a lot of them are like seemingly just attached to the ground currently. There are people who are like trying to clamber up over it. When they get there, some of the bigger goats are now charging at them and like bashing them, and it's like they don't know what to do about all the goats, but they are charging it, and goats can be savage, you know. And both Griffin and Reagan are there. I think Reagan has probably got a bow and arrow and is just like taking it, you know, like where you do, it's a solid game like maneuver if you just like wait for that bottleneck and just as they're coming up over, you just shoot them as they're coming over, and it's just like taking them out as they approach. And Griffin has been in trying to deal with some things. Any stragglers that manage to get up over the bridge, he is chasing them down. So you kind of the scene that you see as you get on the outside is a stack of Templars who almost like there's a magnetic field attracting their metal armor to the ground, who are like groaning and trying to pull away from it. Some are being taken out by arrows, some are being harassed by goats, and you can see just as you're kind of like assessing the situation, you see like running off into the distance and into the tree line Griffin in that ridiculous outfit with a sword chasing someone down into the tree line. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And then like coming up around the back of you, you can hear with the cart now, both Harry and Craig have the lyrium.
I think to help out Griffin so he doesn't have to run off into the woods, just an arrow just goes by his head.
Yeah, he'll like stop and look as it just like lands, turn around to look at Reagan assuming it was him, and then look and see it was you guys and be like, oh, hey.
and like he gets a wave and then get your ass over here.
But
also, he's gonna look at the rest and just be like, I told you the goats were a great idea. Whoever said it, good job.
Yeah.
I never doubted you for a minute.
Yeah. You know that like as much as on the end of success that you felt, and you probably had to like have a few scuffles and fights with Templars on your way out. You took a few more out on your way. A few of you may be sporting little injuries, should you wish. Although I imagine there's just like this repeated healing anytime anybody gets hurt. You just
we
like
also have a bunch of
standing
lyrium now, so
you sure
Yeah.
do.
I will say Eviana is literally going to be using Blood Wound as much as she can to get us out without letting other people get hurt. So she's going to consistently stay in Blood Mage mode until everybody's out.
Yeah.
Maddie is going to continuously heal people, but also like keep an extremely clinical and critical eye on Aviana, and just knowing that she will never let anyone like get hurt while she's alive. Maddie's just going to be standing next to her, ready for like the second that Blood Mage mode drops to just like pour healing magic in.
Love it.
And honestly, with lyrium like literally at my fingertips, I'm just gonna keep buffing Jen. Like,
oh my god, yes. I think Jen is literally like cackling at this point. Like this is her fun spot.
Yeah. You can hear that reinforcements may be coming, and with the sheer amount of people that are in this stronghold, you reckon that you should focus on leaving and then covering your exit so you can take care of anyone on your way out. But is the plan to head back into Wycombe, or are you going to skirt along the outsides until you can set yourselves up enough and hide to then clear that path and start heading to Starkhaven?
I think we should hide. I don't think we should go back to Wycombe. Like, I mean, the people in the inn we were staying here with all knew that we were staying there, that we disappeared this night, and also that this was the night that the stronghold got raided. So,
I imagine we just stashed our stuff like in a convenient spot to grab like on our way out of Wycombe from the fortress. Yeah,
clear out a hiding spot, left Quint there.
Just a quick question then. What did we do with our poor newfound friend, Quintus?
Flo was saying.
So I say we cleared out like a camping spot and like sat there and said, "Do not move."
I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah, you can pick him up on the way. So once you feel like you have cleared off the heat that was at the back of you, but still feeling a bit of tension, you're able to skirt along the outskirts. On rickety roads is a bit difficult at first, but eventually you will meet another road and find a spot for you to hide and regroup. but you're able to kind of settle and have that moment of just like looking around and realizing some of us. Yes, Flora.
Before we left,
Mm.
Theowin packed paint to leave a message, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I always
We
have
vaguely
paint.
talked about that.
Yeah.
I just say we like leave a message on these dead Templars' armor.
Mhm.
All Templars are bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sitting on the steps.
Can I throw
Mhm.
in something about break your chains or we are not bound by your chains anymore?
There's plenty of
Mhm.
corpses.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
There sure
And like
is.
a nice wall mural. Real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah,
like,
just
doing
a
it.
whole like
Yeah.
and things are just displayed in a way it's like, that's art.
Mhm. Certainly leaving a message. Your two elven compatriots that came along with you will thank you for what you've done and will stick around with you at least for a little bit. They weren't planning on going to Starkhaven, but with their job complete, they feel like they will eventually maybe head back to family to inform.
I was just like, can we recruit them?
If you want to, you sure can. Do you want to? If someone wants to lead the charge and have a very convincing speech, it'd be a nice way to end the session.
Very convincing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Jen. I don't know that Massey's necessarily looking at this from a professional perspective, whereas I feel like Jen is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I'm. But it's I mean, like I would love to try and persuade Ailish to stay with me, but I'd probably do it in a more personal tactic. So it depends kind of what we want out of the scene. I feel like Genevieve would be like,
Yeah.
look, this is what we do, this is how we do it. Like I've
Yeah.
already been trading with you. So I think if it's more formal recruitment, then it should be Jen.
And the thing is, I don't think Jen would be pushing it real hard, but just, your great quest and personal fulfillment is done, I assume?
It is.
I saw the end of it. It's very good.
Yeah. It feels good. Honestly, I know a lot of people say that like going after revenge is not gonna ultimately help things, and it doesn't bring him back, but it feels right.
Honestly, those people, I think that they are just not capable of it. So they have to soothe themselves somehow. Well, if you are not busy or later, are looking for more Templars to stick it to, we're always going to be doing that for foreseeable future. Don't have to be necessarily with us. We do have a bigger organization of friends.
You can get so much serotonin by joining us.
That does sound nice.
That is not for me to offer.
No, like Theowen is like feral for us.
I know, and that's it. I think Jen is just like, I'm going to ignore that. That's too funny. But yeah, she's gonna intimate that there are other groups. We deal with information, and there are more Templars to meet their maker.
It sounds appealing. Where are you guys based?
Kirkwall. But obviously we're a little bit everywhere.
Well, I'm definitely tempted. And we'll definitely look at Matty if she says that.
Yeah. I think because I'm trying to think Genevieve, like with the cart, I think she would just kind of be the, head on a swivel person. Just
yeah.
Okay. And she will definitely walk away at this point. Just planting little seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Just come over to Ailish, and I presume Owain is okay as well. Like he's kind of with the group.
Yeah, he's I guess a little bit like Theowen is looking like he's riding a bit of an adrenaline high right now.
Amazing. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna kind of reach out and not take, but kind of hold out my hand for her to give me her hand. and as I take it, I like look her over for injuries and kind of like let like healing kind of roll out from my hand and like up her arm and like across her body and like kind of release this kind of like soothing aura, like that since I've summoned hope, like is kind of a little bit stronger than usual.
Yeah.
And I kind of turn her hand over and run my thumbs across it and feel like the calluses on her fingers, and say, I know what it's like to plan not to make it out, but at some point you survive and you have to figure out what you're going to do next. And these people are idiots and chaotic, but they are also full of love and kindness and courage and hope. And I think all of those things are rare and precious in this world. And you would be very welcome in our company, and should you ever wish to frequent it again, certainly in mine.
Well, it is a tempting offer. And I think I was driven by a personal drive to get justice. But we are far from the only ones who have ever fallen victim to this pain. And what I see in you all is a righteous kind of fury. The kind that these Templars and their Chandri only wish they could have. And I think I would be honored to fight that fight by your side.
I mean, I think Maddie just wants to kiss her.
Which is very valid, honestly. Very valid.
Maddie just leans in and kisses her.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Yeah. I love that like everyone else is having these really awkward like dances around maybe trying to get together with someone, and Matt and Ailish are just like the true lesbian way.
I don't have a U-Haul in this universe, but
yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's happening. You see Owen kind of like right in the height, sees that as like, okay. But you're all able to have a rest, recover a little in hiding, knowing that you are now going to have to press on towards Starkhaven to people who are very much in need of this. People who likely hold the same values as you, who want to fight the same fight, but don't have the more offensive capabilities. And it's potentially going to come with some difficult emotions, especially for the one who is from Starkhaven, who may have shared memories with some of the people who might be there. But we were successful. We kicked butt and then some, and really managed to drive home the fact that all Templars are in fact bastards. But you can't fight back against these powers, and it's great when you do. On that note, we're going to end our session there, everybody. Great job. Round of applause for all concerned. We are going to be doing our outros, and then I will talk a little bit about what you can expect to find on the channel, and possibly even if we are raiding, I will find that out soon. But as for me, I am Emma Hamalu on the internet. You can find me at Hamalu at all of the socials. Tomorrow you will see me back here, Girls Run These Worlds, for Ariga Stars, which is just incredible. It's incredible and gay and magic people transformations, and it's a great start. So 10 out of 10 recommend coming along for that one. And then on Tuesday you can both see and hear me. You will see me on the Transmissions Twitch channel, where we are having another Dragon Age story where they are escaping the fifth blight. And it's been a really nice story, a very different flavor, because these are just regular people who were villagers and now are suddenly having to be out in the world. And you will hear me on the Transmissions podcast wherever you catch your podcasts, for Black Teeth, which is using the liminal system for a folk horror story in northern rural Wales set in the 70s. And it's been also really beautiful story. So check that out as well. I will let my players now say who they are, where we can find them.
Hello, everyone. I am Torin, or Torin Talks Creativity on the internet. My pronouns are she, they. I was playing Genevieve Devereaux, whose pronouns are she, her. She is very happy now. As far as where you can find me, I am also in Fate. I play a very different character there. It's very fun. Absolutely, you should check it out. Magical Girls and Kaijus. It's the best way I can say it. It's great. Sailor Moon met. No, I'm kidding. And then Tuesday, I actually am also in Blood and Lyrium. I play a cockroach of a rogue, just because why not? Otherwise, Erevan just wrapped up. Their episodes are going to be on YouTube. It was a very sad and heartfelt and bittersweet finale that we just had this past Friday. We all cried for a good 24 hours. It was very good. Otherwise, I do have my own channel where I do voice acting and I do gaming and digital art for people, commissions at Torn Talks Creativity on Wednesday and Saturdays. So that's where you can find me.
Hey everyone, my name is Val. You can find me everywhere at Valdrianth. On all of the socials. I am gearing back up on my channel here up on the 24th on Fridays at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. I will be running a Blades in the Dark skin of Animorphs over on my channel. So if you want some 90s nostalgia with child soldiers and queer trauma, that's what's happening on my channel, and lots of body horror, because yeah, that's what happens in a book series made for 10-year-olds. But yeah, and there's gonna be some other things gearing up as well. We're hashing out scheduling, but watch my Twitter, watch my Discord, and we'll see what's up. Thanks.
Hey guys, my name is Alice, they, them pronouns, and today I played Florineus, who also uses they, them pronouns. You can find me everywhere online at Alice Hart, or if the adult film star has taken that username, which does happen, like on Twitter, you can find me at Hellion Hart. I have a few things that I can't talk about just yet. Next week, I can, but coming up for May, on May 21st, I'm going to be over on the Lost Caravan playing Lancer with a few really cool people. And then on the 25th, playing Goblin Errands, which I'm very excited about. You can also find me on the Actual Play podcast, Welcome to Reddington, where I am a player, producer, and editor. We are on hiatus because life sucks sometimes for people, and we have a big cast. But during this time, it is an amazing opportunity for you guys to check out the first half of the seasons that we've already put out. And otherwise, just keep an eye out on my socials to see what I am doing and can talk about.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mary. I've been playing Eviana today, and both of our pronouns are she, her. As far as where you can find me, online, you can find me on the Hell site at Nerd on Wheels 15 or everywhere else at the Nerd on Wheels. Coming up for me this Monday, you can catch me in an Every Other Monday campaign of Lancer Hell's Gate, a Lancer RPG actual play where I am playing the Murder Marshmallow, aka Zoe, who loves NHPs and rocket launchers. We just had a battle in Space Disney, and apparently there's new mechanics coming up, so that's going to be fun tomorrow. Or else you can find me on Enchanting Sorcery Productions, where we are playing Fandelver and Below. That is every other Wednesday. I am playing a rogue cleric in that has a memory gap and found out that her deity is kind of scary, but it's going to be really, really fun, right? Right. And then everything else you can catch on socials. Everything else isn't for a couple weeks, so I'll wait for that because my brain is slowly shorting out. On to Ella.
I love that. I felt so special. Hi, I'm Ella. My pronouns are she, her. I was playing Maddie Hines. Her pronouns are also she, her. You can find me on the internet at GEJ on whatever socials you use. I made a podcast called Camland. We released the finale last week, so you can now binge the whole thing if you want to. It's an audio drama. It is post-apocalyptic and queer and inspired by Arthurian legends and folklore. It is all about hope. Yeah, I also made an RPG called Up River Down River. You can check that out if you wanna.
Love that. Seriously recommend following and watching the content that these guys put out. It is incredible. As for this channel, we've already spoken about Mondays where we've got our Riga Stars, led by Disaster Master Altamirage. Best person. On Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, they've got a ship and now they have to find a job and keep flying. Join storyteller Anya in Firefly Into the Black. Browncoats forever. And on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, we have an epic post-apocalyptic game where each player runs a faction at the end of the world, attempting to leave something better for whoever comes after in Rust, with GM Ella. Yay! So check that out, 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday, we'll be back here next week for our finale. Our story is almost at a close. Sad face. So please do come and check out that finale. I'm sure it is going to be exceptionally emotional, maybe a bit thirsty, and probably quite hilarious in places, because that's just the way we roll. Other than that, take care of yourselves. We're going to be raiding Cipher of Tears, so please do stick around so that we can go into the raid, throw some emojis and love their way, and we will see you next week.